Motherhood tends to be something most people romanticize about. The baby showers, the milestones, and the Instagram posts. But what happens when you become a mom before you even know who you are? Today I'm sitting down with a childhood friend, Tally, who became a mom at 16 and now has two kids at the age of 22. We're going to talk about what it's really like, the judgment, the identity shifts, the things people don't see, and the moments that make it all worth it. This isn't about pity or shock value. This is just life. And I hope whether or not you're a parent, you walk away from this conversation understanding how difficult it is to grow up and still be raising somebody else. Everybody, this is my cousin Tally, my lifetime best friend. Known her since birth, basically. I mean, I'm older, so technically I've known you longer.
Yeah.
Anyways, we grew up in a really small town, about population 8,000, 7,000 people. So when you live in a town that small, everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody's business, right? They think they know everything. We're about to share a very vulnerable piece of your life, and I'm very thankful that you came on and you're willing to share this.
Of course.
And yeah, let's just get right into it.
Let's do it.
You find out you're pregnant. Take us through where you were, what you felt, and just when you saw that positive sign on the stick.
I was just now getting out of softball practice. I had two friends with me. I didn't tell them much, but I just was like, I need you guys to be with me in this moment.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the bathroom of our junior high. And we are in the bathroom. I'm still not talking to them very much, but they both see the pregnancy test. They see what's going on. I'm in the stall. I look down. It didn't take much. I was very pregnant and didn't know. And, I see the positive test. And it was truly like such an out of body experience for me. Like I didn't feel like I was in the room anymore at that point. This isn't happening. This is not me. Like my whole life pretty much was like flashing before my eyes. Like it was really crazy for me. I remember just sitting on the floor, remembering like this can't be my life. Like I can't be the one that got pregnant, in high school.
I'm the teenage pregnant kid.
Yeah, like it was me. I was the pregnant girl at school.
I was the pregnant girl.
Yeah, that's my first thought. I couldn't like hear anything. Like everything just went down to the test, and it was, I can't believe that this is my life now. Like I just thought about my whole life in that moment. Yeah. Like, wow, this is happening.
After that, like little bit of moment of after you get out of that muggy feeling of like, crap, I'm pregnant. Did you ever think about not doing the pregnancy?
I did, for sure. My first thought actually after, like right after, I was like, there's no way this is happening. I was very much in denial, but I didn't want the pregnancy. I didn't want to go through with it. Having such, religious parents, just the upbringing that I had and my childhood, how I grew up, there was just no option. There was no other option but to have the baby. But definitely those
crossed your mind.
Definitely crossed my mind of, I don't want to have this baby. I don't want this pregnancy. I don't want to go through with this.
Yeah, I would
definitely flooded my head.
Lord, I'd be scared out of my mind. And we're in sports together. We're like sophomores in high school, like end of sophomore year, going into our junior year when she's dealing with all this. And like, we grew up playing sports together and just imagining, like, I'm putting myself in your shoes, like, to think I'd have to give all that up.
Yes, that was definitely one of the first things that I thought about because, I adored sports. Like, that was us. That was us and how we grew up. We grew up playing ball together. Like, that was our thing. And just realizing for an entire year I wasn't going to have that.
Yeah.
That was definitely peak of a long depression for me. But definitely in the beginning was I wasn't going to have my sports. I wasn't going to have.
Yeah, just not having an outlet. So you find out you're pregnant. Did you tell your mom?
I did not tell my mom. She actually, which was really crazy, she already knew before I told her.
I feel like mom just knows.
Mom just know. And being one now, totally, I was like scared. At the time, me and my mom didn't have very much of a distinct relationship.
Okay.
We didn't have, that closeness. It had a lot to do with the relationship I was in. It definitely divided us. She didn't agree fully with everything that I was doing.
Yeah, what mom does.
Right. With how close we were and how serious we were getting with how young we were. It was my last thought, sadly, was to tell my mom.
Yeah, probably it's part of, I don't know, I could be wrong, but a part of you might have was scared too. Like, did, like, to disappoint her, or just to hear the backlash of maybe her being angry, and you already have all these emotions you're dealing with.
For sure.
So then if you didn't tell your mom, who'd you tell?
I was in athletics. We were actually working out, and I just had like a flood of emotions go through me during our workout. And we were in the mid workout, and I just ran to our softball coach. She was kind of that person for me. She
Yeah.
knew a lot going on in my life, and it felt safe, and it just kind of felt right.
Yeah.
And so I pulled her aside, and she was like scared. She was like, just the look on my face, I think it scared her for sure.
Yeah.
And like, we left the gym. Like, she was like, okay, we were in the weight room. We were just standing in the weight room. And I said, I have to tell you something. And I think she knew where I was going with this.
Yeah.
Sadly, I did. I'm pregnant. And her face dropped. And we cried together in that weight room.
Did it make you feel better when y'all cried together?
Not really.
You were just crying to
No,
cry?
I just cried to cry.
Mm.
Honestly, not could have been anyone, but in the sense of almost it could have been anyone that I sat and cried with. And I was terrified. How I felt in that moment, no amount of crying really could have made me feel any better. But I just knew that someone had to know. I knew she wasn't going to say anything. And so she was the one that I ran to.
Obviously, she's an adult, so she can't hold this information, right? What did she end up doing?
So after we cried together, she says she's going to call my mom. I dropped I was distraught because that's the last thing that I wanted to do.
Right, yeah.
And
you already planned not to tell her.
Yeah, I planned not for my mom not to know. So when she had said that, obviously I just had to sit and agree, because what was I going to say? No. I just said, okay. And she called her. She came into the coach's office, and we are all far apart in the room. We're not close together. We're all different ends, different corners.
I can just imagine the tension in the room.
Yeah. From how far apart we were from each other, it was like in my face how scared and the fear that I had built up.
Yeah.
And she just kind of looked at me. She was standing in the doorway. She didn't even fully come in the room. And she's standing in the doorway. I look at her and I said, I'm pregnant. And she says, I thought so.
Imagine. And your mom just walking there, yeah, I already knew. I'm just waiting for you to tell me.
I was just waiting. And, weeks prior, she had kind of noticed, all moms would notice, I was very tired after school. I was grouchy. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I was crying all the time. And she had asked me, just a little question, like a little hints here and there.
Right.
And she actually asked me about my period.
Well, that's a good one to start with.
And she asked me, and I was like, oh yeah, I've had it. I already had it.
It's already... Bold-faced lie.
Really. I lied in my mom's face. I was like, yeah, nothing to worry here.
Good girl.
She's the one that supplies the tampons. Just putting that out there. And she isn't dumb. And so when she was like telling me, I thought so, I knew. I was just waiting.
Was it relieving though? Like when she said that, were you not? Because were you anticipating her to like come in and be like, rah, 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 rah? Or what were you thinking that she would react? Or you already kind of?
I didn't have like a certain like thought process on what I thought she was gonna say. It was just more of, I knew she wasn't gonna yell. I knew she wasn't gonna yell. I knew definitely not in front of my softball coach. She wasn't going to sit there and yell at me.
Yeah, your mom's not really wired that way.
No. Yeah. So she just kind of looked at me. I could definitely tell what conversation was coming, obviously. Yeah. But I definitely knew all over her face was just, I'm so disappointed. Yeah. And that's definitely what hit me really hard. Telling my mom was just, she knew, but she wanted me to come to her, and it took me telling another person first to actually get to her. So that was definitely something that was very hard for me.
So like with your mom, obviously now she knows, and obviously the first person you told was a coach, so your dad's not in the loop at all. What was that like, him finding out? Or did you tell him? Did your mom tell him? What was?
No, so he was actually on a golf trip.
Oh, great. Enjoying himself.
He was having a great time. He was on vacation. So my mom had actually told me to not say anything yet.
Oh.
We waited. It was a few days later. He was actually on a golf trip, and he was on vacation. He was enjoying his time.
Chilling, bro.
He was with the boys.
Yeah.
So
Well, kudos to your mom too, to like not
a wife
immediately call and be like, hey, ruin his whole entire trip.
Right.
And that it's so bad to say ruin, because obviously you're bringing a blessing into the world, right? But like, just to hear that your child is having a child is not something you want to hear over the phone, obviously. And for her to hold on to it for a couple of days, that takes some strength. Because you want your partner. Like, nah, I don't want to deal with this by myself. I don't want to take care of our kid by ourselves. So kudos to your mom to have that much love and respect for your dad.
Yes, and we both knew what his reaction was going to be. We both knew the anger that everybody knew what was going to happen. So we didn't want to cause that, on the trip. So she said the day he gets back, that's when you're telling him.
Mm.
And it was crazy. So I heard his truck in the driveway, and I sank in the couch. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And my sister came to me, and she grabbed my hand, and she said, let's go to the room. We're going to sit together, and I'll sit with him while he handles this. And I'll sit with you while you tell him. And so we sit on my bed, and we both start crying. We both were bawling our eyes out, and my dad comes in the room, and he's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And my mom just tells him to sit down.
Holy crap. I could only imagine being your dad. You got your wife here, 2 girls crying, and you're like, who died? What happened?
No, really. It was that intense.
Yeah.
As it seems. And yeah, he just looks at me, and I'm pregnant, and he doesn't do anything. He doesn't move. He just sits there. And I knew it was coming, but I was in disbelief still. As I was telling people, I still didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Right. And he gets up, he punches the door, and he walks out of the room. I expected it. I expected the anger. I expected a yelling, but I didn't quite get that yet, like not at the beginning. And he gets his golf bags. He gets his luggage out of the truck. He brings it in the house.
Yeah, dang it. I just got out this nice golf trip, and now my kid's freaking pregnant, man. Like,
he's like, dude, I just freaking scored this weekend, dude. And yeah, so we didn't talk for a little while after that. There was some yelling that ended up coming on to that, and definitely anger, definitely tension.
That whole house months. Just had so many emotions. Like,
so many.
You got a big sister now, her emotions. Y'all share a room. And then you got your mom, her own emotions. You got your dad, angry. You're over here dealing with, obviously, a child being developed inside you. Like, that household was just, just compacted with a bunch of different emotions.
Right.
And all you could do is be in it. Like, there was no escaping that. Man, that is scary.
It was for sure. It was, honestly, I was disassociated.
Yeah.
For a lot of it. I would just wake up, get ready for school, leave. Right. Wake up, get ready for school, leave. Come home, sit in my room the rest of the night, just because I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want to feel it from both of them. I didn't want to feel it from my dad. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want anything to do with any of it, really, the whole beginning.
So talking about you not wanting it, right? Obviously, we're in high school. We're going to find these things out, these rumors, right? We're in a small town.
For sure.
Everybody was talking about it. It was almost in every single classroom. Someone was mentioning it. Someone was making a joke about it. At the time, like, me in high school, I wasn't that friend that just hung out with everybody after school. I just kind of talked to people while we were in school and then did basketball and went home. That was just kind of my normal routine. And me and Tally weren't super close in high school. We were close, but not super close. She had a relationship she was in, invested in that. But I always love you. And I've always loved you and always cared about you. So when I heard these rumors coming on, when people would tell me, like, they would ask me, because we're family, and like, guys, I don't know, and it's really none of my business. It was really what my genuine response was. And when people just kept coming to me, I was like, okay, I need to go talk to her, make sure she's okay. And so I went up to Tally, where I remember so well. We were walking down the hallway, the main hallway down there where the gym is, and I was like, I didn't even ask her if she was pregnant, y'all. I said, "Are you okay?" And she looked at me straight faced. Kiana, do not believe a word anyone is saying. And I said, okay.
And we went about our day.
We did. And I didn't bother her after that at all. I didn't even ask her anything. I mean, I would have normal conversation. Like, I would honestly treat you like nothing was going on. So yeah, I treated Tyler the same. I never changed my opinion about you. Never, nothing changed. So as we're going through high school, people are saying she's pregnant. I'm thinking you're supposed to get bigger, right? I've seen all pregnant women get bigger as months go by. Tally was just not doing that, and so I was like going home to my mom, being like, "I don't think she's pregnant, mom. I think it's just rumors. I think people are just being mean and ugly." And obviously, someone saw the positive sign. You were clearly pregnant, but I was really just hoping you weren't, because I obviously love you and I want you to have the whole high school experience and everything, so don't get it back. Why didn't you show? That's like very confusing to me. Like,
I didn't want the pregnancy.
oh yeah, well that makes sense.
I was very, very, very depressed. And honestly, I didn't want her the whole time that I was pregnant. Every single day was just, I can't keep this baby. I can't be a mom. I can't do this. And so, in a sense, my body was kind of rejecting her in a way. I mean, I
Okay,
wouldn't say rejecting. I mean, I'm
what hit?
growing a human, but
Yeah,
hiding her, I guess, would be a good way to
that's
explain
so
it. It's just hiding
weird.
it. And I didn't show until about 4 weeks before I had her. Yeah, I felt everything. I felt the pregnancy. I felt the sickness and all the issues that I had. But I think because I was so depressed and I was so in denial about the
Right.
entire thing that I didn't want to believe it, and my body almost in a way just kind of hit her on its own.
The human body, even a woman's body in general, is just so crazy to me. Like, she's having a 8-month old baby inside of her, and it's not even showing because her body knows she doesn't want this baby, and it's
Yeah.
like, you're okay. We'll just put it up here. We'll put it on the back burner. Literally, put it in the back burner. Like, you
Yes.
don't even see it.
Yeah, she was in my back for most of it, and I definitely wanted to make sure that no one saw. So even if I was bloated one day or just felt bigger, or like my hips, definitely I felt her a little bit, I would dress up, because that's one thing I always told myself at school was, I am not going to be that girl that shows the depression. I would never show it.
Yeah, you
I
could
would
not
dress
tell.
up. I would dress up every day, but I would wear flowy clothes, or I would wear bigger, like, I wouldn't say t-shirts, but like dress shirts, but like the big ones. So
Yeah, so you could
really,
cover mostly
honestly,
everything.
there
Yeah.
was no telling. No one could have known from, even if I was showing, just from how I dressed,
Yeah.
you really wouldn't have even known.
Okay, so now she's popped. You got 4 weeks of a belly, and you just talked about how you was trying to hide that. What was that feeling like when you're like, crap, I can't push it back in?
I felt very uncomfortable in my own skin. Had just lied to everybody for 8 months
Yeah,
and denied everything. So when she popped out, I really just accepted it for
there's
what it
nothing. Yeah,
was.
what can you do?
I didn't want it, but I had to accept it. I accepted all the looks. I accepted all the stares. I accepted
Did
all the
people ever say like
questions.
mean things to you? Like, were they ugly towards you? Like, did you lose friends? Like, obviously, like, we didn't hang out like that, so I don't know the friend groups, like how that changed that dynamic and what that felt like.
Definitely had a shift in friendships. Just the way that people treat you when you're pregnant at that age is a whole other conversation within itself.
We're all immature. Like, none of
Right.
us are mature enough to even grasp the idea of having a kid. So
Right.
now you got somebody who is, and it's like an alien. Like,
Really, really, it was just like everyone was kind of walking on eggshells around me all the time,
hmm.
because I mean, everybody in the entire school talked about it. Everyone talked about it before they even knew. So it's like, wow, we just talked about her for so long and now she actually is. So I think some people did feel bad. And you know what's crazy is my guy friends were the kindest to me in this period
Really?
of time. It was like my girlfriends that were like supportive, but walking on eggshells and making me feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Really, that's what it was. I was feeling more uncomfortable, if anything, in my own skin and around everybody. And there was a few, like a handful of my guy friends that were truly just so sweet to
Well,
me.
shout out to them. Holy crap.
So
That
sweet to me.
is. I was not seeing that coming. I thought the girls would have your back. Like, I got you, girl. Like, sisterhood, whatever. These boys stepped up. They're like, no, we got you. You're
Yeah.
going to be fine.
Yeah. It definitely threw me off, completely threw me off, because it was just some of those friends that
You
you
didn't.
never expect it.
Yeah.
You never expect it. And honestly, I don't know how I would have handled my friend being pregnant at this age, but I also shut everyone out to an extent too.
Yeah.
So I think it was just everyone not knowing how to be there for me, but also trying to be in me shutting them down. So no one really knew how to react in that
That's
time of my
fair.
life for sure.
Now she's popped out. She can't hide the baby no more, right?
She's she's coming.
She's
So
coming. That beautiful angel is coming into this world. Okay, your water breaks. Where are you? What is it like? And just, just go off with the story.
actually, we tried for an induction.
Oh, okay, so okay.
So I was so scared and only trusted one doctor, my doctor, and she was going on vacation. And so she said, if you want to come in and try to be induced, we can do that. But, you know, with induction, you never know, really. With birth, you never know.
Yeah, in general.
Yeah. So we did. I went into the hospital to get induced at night. I mean, I think it was like 9 p.m. or something like that. And I went in that night to be induced, and they give me Pitocin, to start the labor. But for me, it just wasn't working. I felt like I think I was there 12 hours or something like that, and nothing was happening. I was just kind of in pain for no reason. I was like, I don't really like this. So I did. I told one of the nurses, I was like, so I'm going home. I don't, I don't want to stay here. I'm just laying in this bed because once you get started on that, you can't get out of the bed. Like you're put, you're set, you're not going anywhere. And I was done. I had enough. So I did. I went home and I was chilling for a little bit. We were chilling, nothing. I wasn't feeling anything really. And then middle of the night, of course, because what else?
Yeah.
I did. I labored on my own at home.
Oh wow.
For 8 more hours, maybe. I just kind of did it on my own. Finally, when it was, unbearable at that point, I was like, I can't. Like, we have to go in now. We did. We went back into the hospital, and my body was finally like working on its own.
Yeah.
So that's when things, started to kick into gear. A lot of this was kind of a blur, just because
we got medicine in you. Your body's going through a trauma, literally a trauma
experience,
and now you're pushing out a kid.
Right.
So that makes sense that you don't got a full clips of the whole thing.
Yeah, it was truly, again, an out of body experience. Like it's so weird talking about it because it's almost like I wasn't there. Like I was just watching. I think it was like a few hours later, I was ready. I did ask for an epidural because I was scared out of my mind. So I did ask for an epidural. And once I got the epidural, again, she was in my back. So I felt all the pain in my back.
Oh, okay.
And the epidural kind of numbed everything but what I needed it to. So I felt everything in my back, of course. And I think it took maybe 20 minutes and she was out. It didn't take long. But my doctor kind of like flew me into gear. Like she was like, this is happening. You're going to start pushing. And then I looked directly at my mom and I said, I can't do this. I said, hey, so I can't do this and I don't want to. And she said, well, you have to. You kind of, there's no other option. You have to do it.
Some dirt in it and you're fine.
Yeah. So push her out real quick and let's get this going. And so I did. It was about 20 minutes, maybe, I think less than that. And she was out.
And then you held her.
I held her. I did. And I was disassociated.
Still.
It was.
Yeah, 'cause some people, they have that, like, the experience you had, right?
Right.
Like, I don't want this kid. And then they hold the kid and they're like, oh my God, my whole world, And
yeah.
you just.
I did not experience that.
Okay.
I didn't. Sadly, I saw her and I was in disbelief probably until she was a month old. Like I just remember being in that hospital bed and I was like, whose kid is this? Like, who are you?
You're a spitting image of me, but who the heck are you?
You look exactly like me. Don't know you though. Love ya. I don't know what's going on. And I was so numb. Right after you push them out, they're down there. They're getting your sack out. They're pushing on you. They're getting things like all the great details that I'm going to spare all of you. But there's things happening and I'm just there, really. Like, I'm just kind of like, how insane. Yeah. Like, I really just did that.
I know we're not going to speak about, your partner who is the biological dad or whatever, but was he very present in this whole process, or were you just kind of doing this on your own?
He was not present. I mean, he was there, but he wasn't supportive. He wasn't helpful in any way. I do remember, at one point in the hospital, I told him to get away from me. I said, so go sit in the corner.
She's already practicing her mom techniques. Go sit in the corner.
Yeah, sit down. Don't get up. Don't talk unless you're talked to. And no, it was kind of just like me and my mom. And, he was there, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
When he was there, I was uncomfortable.
Yeah. But mind you, he's still a kid at this time too. Like, there's no shade towards this person. A kid as well. I mean, he's obviously becoming a dad at a very young age. He's only a year older than us. But still being the person that had to deal with all this by yourself. And
right.
Obviously you had your mom's support, which a lot of women don't. They don't have their mom, or they don't got their dad, and they're just doing it by themselves. Yeah. So it's definitely a blessing that you had somebody there to help you through all that.
For sure. I agree.
Now you have this beautiful angel in your arms, still in disbelief that this is your kid. And you take her home. She's got to go home. You can't stay at the hospital. We can't leave her there. And obviously you decided to keep her because there's options to obviously put her up for adoption or whatever. But that was not in y'all's belief system. That was your kid. What was it like taking her home?
We brought her home, and I remember walking into my room, everything, still the way it was before I left, before I brought a kid into the world. And I didn't get her out of her car seat yet.
She just sat in her car seat, Callie?
Wasn't for very long. I had to get it together. But I did. So I sat on my bed, and she sat in the car seat, and I looked at her for a little bit. I just kind of looked at her. I looked at all her facial features. I looked at every detail of her before I got her out to mother her for the night. I just, I was alone. It was us two, which everybody was home, but it was just kind of that moment of, we need to let her be with her for a minute and really just grasp this, grasp what's really going on. That's what happened. I just stared at her for a little while, was just trying to process my own feelings, process my own thoughts of what I felt about it.
Yeah.
And I finally got her out of the car seat. She didn't sleep there.
Well, thank the Lord.
I just held her. Really. It was just me and her. And she coughed a little bit, and I started crying because I thought she was choking. My mom could even attest to this. She walked in the room as she was coughing, and I'm crying because I thought she was choking, and I was like, it's been 20 minutes. And
she's choking.
And I didn't know what to do. And my mom was like, they cough. I didn't know that. I didn't know that babies coughed. We did. And we got a rocking chair. And I sat in that rocking chair with her. And I just realized she was mine.
Yeah.
I was like, you're mine.
The realization of, this is my kid.
Here we are.
I can just picture you in the rocking chair holding your beautiful angel, right? Just accepting your fate. It's not a terrible fate, but it's just an early one of just being a mom. Just looking at her and all these mixed emotions. I mean, you love this kid. You don't know them yet, but you know you love them. And then you're scared because you're like, I don't even know who I am. And now I have to raise you. How am I going to do this? Now we have a beautiful +1 to the world. And you're still in high school. So you got to go back. I mean, you can't drop out. I mean, you could drop out. I don't recommend, if you are a pregnant mom, to drop out. No. Go finish high school. You can do it. I want to talk about how that was for you, going back.
Going back to school for me was kind of like my escape. I was definitely looking forward to going back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was. Just because, honestly, after I had her, I just wanted life to go back to the way it was.
That makes sense.
And definitely came with being rebellious. It definitely came with me trying to act like I wasn't a mom. But I was excited about school. Postpartum was a very difficult, crazy roller coaster of emotions for me.
I forget that happens to us when we have kids.
Us.
Yeah, well, yeah. I am a female. I'm probably never have kids, but
Yeah. Postpartum was definitely a journey. I will say I'm very thankful that I was in a household with, all of my family was there all the time. So I wasn't just alone. That 6-week period of just me and her at home, everyone at work, everyone at school, everyone, carried on with their lives. And it's almost like my world just kind of stopped and it's just me and her and everyone's life just continued. So I was definitely eager to get back into a routine and see all my people and just finish. I think it never occurred in my brain that I was not going to finish.
Yeah, that's good.
That was always something for me. I was always going to finish. I was always going to graduate, continue on in whatever way it looked like for me at the time. But I knew one way or another that I was finishing. I was going back.
So you get back to school, you're excited because you're like, man, I can get out of this being a mom. Now I can be a teenager again because my kid's not gonna be here. And you get back. How did people react? I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I know I treated you the same. I never acted any differently.
Yeah, everybody was the same in a way. Honestly, people kind of acted like it didn't happen.
Was that refreshing for you? Yeah.
In a sense, it was refreshing. It was just more of, I want to see a picture of her, or congratulations, or I'm so happy for you. But then it was just like, well, she's Tally. She's back at school. She's not
Yeah.
pregnant anymore.
Isn't that so weird? You're the talk of the town for about 8 months. You have the baby. That's like the whole big thing, right? And you get back and everyone's like, oh, that's cool. Good for you.
it was like this leading up to like this big climax. And this, it happens and everyone's like, well, okay, that's all.
That's the end of the show, folks.
Show's over, boys. Like, it was the craziest thing. I got back and, you know, those friends that were weird weren't being weird anymore. And
so
those girls that weren't close, you know, kept their distance, but tried to, you know, come back in a sense.
Yeah.
And it was definitely weird to watch how everyone wanted to interact with me after I had a kid.
So obviously we went to school together, right? So I know that there's parties going on, there's people getting invited out, and you were one of those people, weren't you?
I was one of those people. I was out and about on the low. I cared about sports, but I was definitely the one that was getting invited. I wouldn't say I was always showing up, but I was definitely the one always invited. And that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
When I had her, about a month or two straight into her life, I just wanted to ignore it. And
where was she? Like, who was taking care of her?
My mom.
Your mommy?
She was at home with her grandma, her Nona, and I wanted her to just watch her whenever.
Yeah.
I wanted her
to... You treated her like your personal babysitter.
I did. And I honestly think up until... I didn't forgive myself for that until maybe a year or two ago. Maybe like a year and a half ago.
That mom guilt?
The mom guilt hit heavy just because I just would pawn her off. And, you know, in some ways I am grateful for my mom for that, just because she really wanted me to have that little taste of high school while I could still get it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it did come to a point where I just wanted to party. I just wanted to drink. I just wanted to forget that I was a mom. I had to raise a kid and I had to buckle down, and I just wasn't ready for that yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either at that, being 16. Yeah.
I wasn't. And also, you know, the people I was surrounding myself with at the time, they were like, well, ask your mom to watch her, come out. And, you know, it wasn't really them being supportive of, you're a mom now. It was, well, you're a mom, but you have a mom, ask her. You know, it was things like that. And
such naive minds, such small minds.
But then, you know, to an extent, I listened.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, me being 16, I listened, and finally she did. I came home from a party and she sat me down. I remember it was not long after, because she was born November, and it was around Christmas. Like, I remember, and we just sat down. It was dark. It was just the Christmas tree was on, and she was sleeping, and me and my mom were just looking at each other, and, you know, I'm buzzed. And I'm just looking at my mom, and she just said, she's yours. She's not mine. She's your responsibility. It's time for you to accept it. It's time for you to get it together and figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to raise her. And I just remember there's little moments in her newborn phase that my mom would get to see and get to watch. And I was out at a party when, you know, my newborn child is experiencing these new things. And after that, it's like a switch, like, flipped in my brain.
That was the moment for you when your mom was like, you need to get it together.
You need to get it together. And I did. I just was like, what am I doing? Like, this is high school. Like, life goes on after high school. Life moves forward, and you not being at the next party is just not a big deal. It's
Yeah.
not the end of the world like you think it is. So that's kind of what shifted for me. That's what changed things.
Yeah,
Just
that's literally 10 months of you denying, being delirious to the whole thing, and being like, yeah, whatever. It's just so crazy how our brains work. You know, like she finally tells you, sits you down, looks you in the eyes, and you're like, hey, you need to get together. I mean, I love this kid, and I love you, but this isn't my kid. You made this choice to have this kid,
right.
so you need to raise it.
Yeah, and to an extent, it almost felt embarrassing. Like hearing those words, like hearing her say that to me, I was almost embarrassed because it's just like my mom is sitting here having to tell me, be a mom. And even, you know, I was 16, even being that young, she was still mine. I still chose to have her, and I still chose to be a mom in high school.
Right.
And so I was embarrassed for sure. Just also like, I have a newborn at home, and I'm at this party with all of you guys. Like,
Yeah,
y'all are all watching me party as my baby's at home.
these are people that don't even care about you.
Right.
Like, yes, they want to act like they're your friend, but they want to party, they want to drink, they want to be young, and you obviously want to participate too, but they don't care. They don't care that you have a kid at home. They want you to get as messed up as they are, and they're just not true friends. Like, for those who are in these shoes, going to these parties and going to these hangout spots to be with these friends of yours, they're not really your friends. They don't really care that you got life going on, just like you probably don't really care that they have life going on. Yeah, I think that's really powerful that you shared that moment of, oh crap, even though I am young and I could be partying, I do have this beautiful thing, this beautiful blessing that God gave me, and it's time. I'm ready. Yeah, you're probably still scared, but
Scared out of my mind, but I just remember thinking, I remember the last party that, not the not the last party, but at the last one for a while.
yeah,
I was like, none of you care about me. None of you care about my baby that's at home.
yeah.
None of you care the responsibilities that I'm now taking on is a horrible feeling. It was
just to realize like these aren't really your people, and at the end of the day, like you really only have so many. There's not
right.
that many people that are going to be in your corner like that.
Right. And it's such a vulnerable state to be in because it's like you're trying to find your people, you're trying to find who to surround yourself with because there's two of you now. So who's going to love both of you, and who's willing to show up in your friendship for the both of you and realize she has a responsibility at home. I can't be asking her to do these things. I need to be asking.
Just be more considerate.
More considerate, and if I'm gonna ask, let's do something that includes her kid, or let me go see her baby at home.
Yeah.
Let me go to her and to her house and comfort her in this time that she needs me.
And just I know you had some of those
simple things.
I know you had some friends that actually did that, and those are I still see you post about them.
Right.
I'm not gonna mention their names, but I know those are people that did show up for you. Yes. And that's who she still talks to this day, the people that she still associates with. Right. So that's just it's a telltale sign. For sure. Everything you just said of who is a true friend and who's really going to show up for you when you're going through things like that.
Absolutely.
Sorry I wasn't one of those people, but I just wasn't meant to be. I wasn't meant in that timeline to be.
Right. And honestly, we were just in two different,
very different worlds.
States of our lives, two different worlds. She was very focused on her basketball career, which rightfully so. And I was getting messed up, and I was just choosing anything else besides smart choices. And we just, our paths weren't aligned at that time.
No, I wasn't really associated with all that. I'm telling you, I was not invited to these parties. Not a single one of them. I mean, I think the only parties I was invited to was graduation parties.
Yeah.
That's it. But it's because people knew. They knew I was going to say no. They knew I wasn't going to show up.
Right.
So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with how it all planned out. But I'm glad I'm here now. And we're starting to get closer and everything. Tally, obviously you hit this moment of, okay, I got to be a mom. I'm ready to step up. I'm ready to accept that this is my baby. What was that like? I mean, you're going into senior year now. You're not denying this baby anymore. You're stepping up and being a mom. Let's talk about senior year.
Senior year came in, and it was just me. It was just me and her. And it was kind of in the beginning like fight or flight mode. Like I was like, I have to get a job, I have to support her, I have to do this, I have to find a daycare. And thankfully, there was a home daycare in our small little town that we adored, ended up falling in love with. She loved it, I loved it. It was great for us. It was just working and trying to play sports my last year, and also, trying to be top of my class, just trying to do all the things that I've already set goals for before I got pregnant.
Yeah.
And I would definitely say a big, big part of my senior year was my mom. We did have a conversation at one point, and she told me, "You're going to play sports. I'm going to help you finish." And she was a big anchor for me and my daughter, both of us. It was the biggest blessing I could have ever asked for. Yeah. She took my daughter to almost all of my sporting events, almost everything.
Yeah, she was there.
And I got to play all the sports I wanted to play. I did finish top of our class.
You did.
And it was beautiful. I think it was definitely something that I'm still to this day, even though it was high school, feel very accomplished.
Like, you should.
I am so proud of what I did. And that's definitely something that I want to put out there for sure, is you can always finish. It doesn't matter how young. It doesn't matter if you are alone. There's always somebody. I didn't really have to seek out for it, but I will say
some have to.
Some have to, and I think that you should. I think you should do whatever you have to finish strong, because not only is it for you, but it's for your child.
Right.
And I definitely think that's one big thing I think about to this day, is I did do it for her. I did it for both of us, but I did do it for her. It's always possible.
That's how, because my mom had me at the same age you had your baby. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think about too. Like, it's so cool that my mom had me. I'm walking around. I'm like 1 year old and she's graduating. That's to know, just for your kid when she grows up, to see that, yeah, my mom did that while having me. From my point of view, because I am in those shoes, it's very powerful. And like, my mom is so strong. She can do that, then I can do this.
Yeah.
And it just sets a really good example of how a strong woman should be.
Yeah.
You definitely played that role perfectly, because I know she'll look back at it. Both your little girls will look back at it and be like, yeah, my mom's a bad bee.
She's the best in the game, and look what she did.
Literally, I'm just saying, like, it really is important to finish high school if you plan on having your kids. And even if it's to get your GED, like, if you don't want to go through the entire high school experience, at least get your GED and finish. Like Tally was saying, it's very important. So we graduate. That's awesome. Very proud of you. That's very great how accomplished you are having a kid at that time. Could only imagine. So now we're in life. We're in adulthood. And you obviously have a second baby. And that adds a little bit more to it.
It does.
What is it like being an adult now? You're not under your mom's roof anymore. You're not with anybody. It's just you and your girls.
It's definitely empowering. I think the second go around, definitely a completely different experience, obviously. But having them now and living the life that I'm living and chasing the career that I'm chasing, it's just shown me how strong I actually am.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that scared, shriveled up girl anymore. I definitely feel like they're here. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. They're here now, and I'm just here to give them the best life. Honestly, that's all that it's been.
That is so cute. No,
I'm gonna do it.
I don't have any other words for that. That is.
Yeah, it's just like I'm gonna do it because who else will?
Yeah.
It's definitely empowering. It's definitely made me realize that I can do it. I've done so much up until this point. Like, I didn't bring myself this far just to be this far.
Exactly.
There's always more to do. There's always more to accomplish. I have 2 beautiful toddlers now that drive me insane, but I love them so much.
They're very funny.
They're funny girls. And I'm just here to raise them to realize they can do it. They can do it by themselves. They can do it for themselves, and they don't need anyone else to help them. And, I definitely believe community is important. A village is important, but being independent is probably one of the strongest things that you can have, and strongest thing to have within yourself, and to know that at the end of the day, I'm going to get it done. It's going to happen, whether it's the long way, the hard way, it'll happen. And I'm just trying to make that happen for them and for all 3 of us.
Because a lot of moms out there don't do that for their kids. They don't
Right.
really care what the heck they're doing or what their actions do, what their action does to their kids. They're just out there living life.
Yeah.
And for you to have put your kids first after everything you've been through, you know, is very empowering, very just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
This is the bare minimum as a mom.
Of course.
And then just you out here living on your own doing it is just amazing in
Yeah.
itself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So for our friend, she's sitting in her car, has her headphones on, or maybe she's watching it on YouTube. She's listening to you. She wants a piece of advice from you. What would you tell her?
Life doesn't end because you're bringing a life into the world. It gets better. Sit and feel it. Feel every emotion, let it in, and do everything you can to not avoid it. Because I think that's one thing that I definitely did was avoid every emotion that came with being a young teenage mom. And you can really, and it sounds, I guess, cliche, or I don't know the word for it, but it's not really. It's in the end, you can. It doesn't feel like it now, and it might not feel like it the whole pregnancy, but life keeps going. Life doesn't stop just because you got pregnant or because you made a mistake at a young age. Your life is not over, and this baby is not ever a burden. I used to think that when I was pregnant with my first, that she was a burden, and how could I seriously get pregnant and ruin my entire life like that? But honestly, after I accepted it and chose to work for this life that I have, I just realized that it's always a blessing. It doesn't feel like it now. It might not feel like it 5 months, 6 months from now, but in the end, it is always a blessing, and they are always going to be the light of your entire life. And you can do it. It's hard. It is the hardest thing. Motherhood is definitely all things beautiful and difficult at the same time. You can do it, and life does go on in the best way if you make it that way for yourself.
100%. I think a lot of our choices in life all depend on us just doing it and just surrounding ourselves with the right people, just believing in ourselves, just taking that initial step of doing the right thing. Like all it took for you was your mom sitting you down, like, hey, you need to step out of it, and then you did. And once you did that, like your life just did a whole 180.
Right.
So I just really appreciate everything you shared. It was a beautiful story. And
thank you.
We just appreciate you guys listening.
Of course, always.
I want to thank Tally for not just sharing her story, but for also being vulnerable and opening up and just letting us dive deep into how crazy your life was back then and still to this day. It's easy to celebrate the picture perfect moments, but it's the hard moments that shape us the most. If you ever felt like you're figuring yourself out while you're raising somebody else, I just want you to know that you're doing better than you think. Until then, remember, there's no pressure, no plan, just life in real time. Peace.